They told you the universe was silent. They lied. There are voices in the dark, signals in static, memories that don't belong to you. If you can hear them, you've already been chosen. Subscribe to Mind Trace, and remember, the stories you're about to witness are not fiction. They are transmissions, and you're part of the signal now.
They say space is silent, but in 2194 we learned the truth. Silence is a lie. Somewhere out there, something is calling. I was there the day it began. My name is Captain Alara Vos. I commanded the stellar ark, Odysseus, a deep space colony vessel sent to chart the Andromeda Fringe. We were alone, hundreds of light years from Earth, or so we thought. It started with a blip, barely noticeable. A pulse. One of our junior analysts, Kale, picked it up at 0312 UTC. It repeated every 41 seconds. At first, we assumed it was interference from a decayed star or cosmic radiation. But then came the pattern. Morse code. One word, help. We triangulated the source to a sector designated ECHO-9. No colonies were registered there, no ships, just dark space. I made the call to divert course, protocol be damned. As we approached the coordinates, long-range scans detected an object, a vessel. Ancient, Earth origin, but not in any records. The hull bore the designation ESV-013, Daedalus. It shouldn't have been there. Daedalus was launched in 2077, a generational ship meant to colonize Proxima b. It vanished without a trace in 2084. We docked. Daedalus was cold, dead, but intact. The logs were corrupted. Life support was offline. No human biosigns, but something was strange. The ship's AI core was still powered, barely. We extracted what little we could. The crew didn't die from radiation or failure. They went insane. They left messages scratched into metal with bare hands, blood, and madness. It talks to you. Don't listen. We didn't escape. Kale, who had first found the signal, began acting erratic. He claimed he could hear something, whispering in the static, begging, crying, promising things. We quarantined him, too late. That night, he accessed engineering, overloaded the gravity core. The shockwave damaged our hull and killed 12 crew. Before he died, Kale whispered one word to me, Echo. We finally decrypted the full message. It wasn't a distress signal. It was a lure. It wasn't human, not anymore. Daedalus had encountered a signal, a frequency not of this universe. A transmission buried in the quantum foam itself. It infected their minds, twisted their perceptions. They became transmitters. The crew became hosts, living beacons, spreading the signal across time and space. And listen to EHAD, the infection wasn't biological. It was informational. A mimetic virus embedded in data. Just hearing it was enough. I ordered a full blackout. No comms, no electronics. We dumped every recording and purged the drives. But it was too late. The whisper followed us, in dreams, in shadows, a hunger behind reality. We fled ECHO-9, set a course back to Earth. We thought we escaped. The signal changed us, subtly, then completely. At first, it was small things. Crew members misplacing tools, repeating conversations, sleepwalking. Then came the nosebleeds, the memory gaps, the violent hallucinations. Dr. Reyes, our chief medical officer, ran a battery of tests. 73% of the crew showed identical neural distortions, wave patterns that mimicked deep meditative states, except permanent, as if their minds were being overwritten. We found Kale's diary in his quarters, not digital, ink on paper, dozens of pages filled with cryptic diagrams, spirals, alien glyphs, symbols none of us could decipher, until some of the crew began drawing them too, unconsciously, in their sleep, or etched into walls they passed in the corridors. The signal wasn't content to infect us. It was using us to build something, a pattern, a language, a key. For what, we didn't yet know. We shut down external communications. We disabled all receivers. But still, the interference pulsed in the walls, in our heads. It no longer needed machinery. It lived in us. Then came the chanting, not in unison, not organized, but scattered, Fragments of phrases muttered under breath by different crew across different decks, all saying the same things. The door must open. We are the message. She is coming. We isolated the worst affected, locked them behind containment doors. One of them, Ensign Lyra, spent 12 hours scraping the same phrase into the floor of her cell using her fingernails. The shape remembers the signal. Boys, we began planning a countermeasure, a strike team, a shutdown protocol. We thought the AI had been compromised, so we headed for the core. We never reached it. In Cargo Bay 6, behind walls that should have been sealed for storage, we found it. A sphere, roughly a meter in diameter, floating, pulsing softly, not of human origin, surrounded by nothing. No lights, no wires, no gravity field to explain how it hovered. Just humming, like a heart. And every one of us heard it say the same word at the same moment. Welcome? None of us moved. The sphere floated there, impossibly still, humming with a cadence that seemed to resonate through our bones. It didn't emit light, yet we could see it perfectly. It didn't vibrate, yet our teeth chattered. I felt my breath catch, like gravity itself had paused in reverence. Lieutenant Singh was the first to step forward. Against my order, he reached out his hand. The moment his fingers touched the surface, the sphere reacted. It did not glow, it reflected. Not his image, no. It reflected something deeper. Memories, regrets, pain. His eyes went wide, his pupils dilated, and he whispered, "I remember her. I remember my sister's scream." Then he collapsed. Pulse, stable. Brain activity, beyond normal parameters. Spiking, erratic, unreadable. Reyes said it was like his mind had been forced to recall every memory he ever had all at once. Then the sphere pulsed again, that word, welcome. Only this time it was different. It was in our heads. Not spoken, not heard. Understood. A command. We tried to move Singh, tried to leave the cargo bay, but the doors, sealed, locked by the ship's internal systems. I ordered override. The console rejected my clearance. Not because it was denied, but because the ship no longer recognized me as captain. Somewhere between the sphere's arrival and this moment, Odysseus had stopped being ours. That's when we noticed the walls. They were shifting. Patterns emerged in the metal. Grooves, ridges, like circuitry growing across the hull from inside out. A map? A language? We couldn't tell. Reyes screamed. She pointed to the corner of the bay, where one of the storage crates had ruptured. From inside, roots, biomechanical tendrils, were spreading, crawling along the floor, connecting to the sphere like veins to a heart. We weren't in a cargo bay anymore. We were in a womb. The sphere was alive, and we were inside it. We debated destroying it. Plasma torches, explosives. I even authorized the opening of the outer bay doors, an emergency vacuum dump. But nothing worked. The air didn't move. The doors wouldn't open. Time stopped behaving normally. The clocks froze at 16:37. We checked our suits, internal timer still running. But no matter how long we stood there, no matter what we did, it was always 16:37 inside the ship. And then the lights died. Pitch black. Not just absence of light, absence of space, of sound, of self. I couldn't feel my body, couldn't hear my breath, couldn't think. And in that darkness, we saw her. Not with eyes, with memory, a shape. Feminine, tall, elongated limbs, no face, draped in robes of flowing static. Her presence did not walk or float. It bled through dimensions like ink in water. "Open the door," she said. "Echo remembers." Then we woke up, back in the command bridge, as if we had never left. But something was wrong. Half the crew was missing. No alarms, no signs of struggle. Their beds were made, personal belongings intact, their names erased from the manifest. The sphere had gone from the bay, or rather, never there at all. And still, we remembered. All of us remembered. The word echoed between us like a prayer none of us believed in anymore. Welcome. We were losing time. That was the first thing I noticed after waking on the bridge. The ship's logs indicated that only 4 hours had passed since we entered Cargo Bay 6. But our bodies, our minds, knew different. Beards had grown, meals had rotted, Power cells had drained well beyond operational expectations. Our internal chronometers and physical reality were no longer in sync. Time had fractured, and so had we. Lieutenant Corwin no longer responded to his name. He walked the halls as if in a trance, repeating one phrase: "She's already here." I tried to isolate him, but every time I ordered security to detain him, they claimed they hadn't seen him all day, despite video footage showing otherwise. We began encountering loops. Deck 3's corridor led into itself. Crew who entered found themselves back where they started, some aged, some younger. Navigator Idris walked that loop for what we thought was 15 minutes. When he returned, he was 6 years older, with full memories of a life he claimed to have lived in a forest under a red sky with twin suns. He wept when he saw us. Others didn't return at all. We sealed the deck. The AI, once helpful, now spoke in riddles. When I asked for a diagnostic report, it replied, "There is no ship, only the memory of it." When I tried to access security footage, the screens showed static, until frames began aligning into patterns, symbols, glyphs. The same as Kale's diary, the same as the ones we found scrawled in blood in Daedalus. Reyes theorized we were inside a simulation, that the sphere, or whatever was behind the signal, had created a constructed pocket reality and merged it with ours. She cited temporal dilation, quantum entanglement, and something she called invasive resonance echo. But even she stopped trying to explain it when the stars changed. We looked out the observation deck one morning and Andromeda was gone. Not obscured, not shifted. Gone. In its place was a chasm. A hole in the sky, spiraling, devouring starlight. And something moved inside it. Massive. Unfathomable. Crawling slowly across the void like a leviathan beneath black ice. Every time it shifted, I felt it press against my spine. I ordered the engines online. Manual override. No autopilot. We would flee, toward anywhere, away from this. But when the drives ignited, we didn't move forward. We moved inward, into ourselves. Sensors detected no external velocity, but navigation logs showed us accelerating past light speed, folding into dimensions that didn't have names. We were becoming a message, not the carriers, the message itself. And whatever awaited us at the end had already read us. That night, every remaining crew member dreamed the same dream: the sphere, the corridor, and her, standing at the end. This time, she spoke clearly. "You are the signal. You are the door. Echo must awaken." When we awoke, the ship was silent. No hum, no lights, no breath. We were drifting in the dark, and she was aboard.